What's up everyone and welcome to another What's Cookin'. We are Board Game Burger and I'm Mark. This is our crowdfunding format where we take a look at a crowdfunding project and tell you about all the herbs and spices to make it special so that you can decide if it's fitting for your palate or not. Today we have an epic dish that takes up your whole table and maybe even more. In Anunnaki by Cranio Creations, players take on the role of a deity and demigods under your command. You have your own planet, but unfortunately your resources are being depleted. So you travel to a new planet you've heard of with a great city of Atlantis, abundant in resources. Maybe you can make this your new home, but you are not alone. There are others in the same predicament, and you will have to develop as a civilization and fight to take control and make the planet yours. Each player starts with their own player board where most actions will be taken. You also have followers, 4 gods, and 1 main god, and your very own planet. Another board, which will be of great interest to you, is the development board. Here, you will develop your civilization and obtain commercial packs. Gameplay is made up of a number of rounds where players take various actions. The first action, which is mandatory, is the primary action. Take your action pawn and move it to any action space. If it was adjacent to the space where you previously located, don't forget to place a cube in the slot between actions and claim that mana if there was any there. Some examples of actions are teleport, which is how you move from planet to planet. Harvest, which allows you to gather resources where your units are located, but at a cost. Because each time you gather, you deplete the resources in that space little by little. The commerce action allows you to take a pact which you can fulfill later. The domination action, which allows you to increase your power and ability to develop your civilization. And of course, there's normal movement, where troops move from one hex to another. There are more, but I'll let you discover those for yourself. After you complete your primary action, you have the option to complete 1 mana action. By spending the right amount of mana and potentially other resources, you can activate actions. Spend 3 mana and activate a red action tile on your player board, 2 mana and activate a green action on your player board. Spend 1 mana and 2 metal so you can receive 2 weapon cards necessary for attacking. Spend a mana and 2 gold to upgrade tiles on your player board. Note that upgrading red actions will cost you extra resources. Spend a mana and 2 trees to place a settlement on a territory you control, or lastly, a mana and 2 food to place 3 followers. Then you can complete up to 1 of 2 free actions. First is the summon action. If you surrounded a triangle with cubes on your player board, you may summon one of the 4 minor gods, exchanging them for one of your followers already placed on the planet. The different gods have abilities which are activated when you place them on the board. Some are immediate, in-game, and continuous. Your major god can be summoned if you have placed a cube in each space completing the pentagon. These gods each have 1 basic ability that is always active from the beginning of the game and a major ability which activates when the god is summoned. When you fulfill a commercial pact, pay the cost and gain the benefits. Some require you to control a territory on other planets. These pacts provide resources, developments, and victory points. Battles occur anytime a player moves into the same space as another player or ancient civilization, because there ain't no political discussions around here. Battle is streamlined. You simply account for the strength level, and the person with the most strength wins. Each follower gives you 1 strength. Minor gods give you 2, and major gods give you 3 strength. Players each play a card. The defending player always has a choice of 2 cards. The attacker has a choice of whatever cards they have obtained on previous turns. Note that each card may have a cost in metal that you must pay. Also note that attackers that have no weapons cards automatically lose a battle. These various cards improve the attacker and defender's strength. They also have benefits on them that the winner of the battle will receive. Calculate the strength value of the units and the attack or defense card, and the player with the greatest strength wins. The game ends either when one player reaches the final space of a development track or places their last cube on their player board. Then players gain end-of-game points for the positions of their markers on the development track, point multipliers for how many settlements you built, followers you have on the planets, and territories you control. Lastly, players may receive points for leftover resources and mana. Please note that these things are modular and you could be receiving points for one track but with a different goal in a future game. That's always neat. Anunnaki is an epic game with a great table presence, and it is a bit of a space hog. What you see here in this video is, however, the prototype, and the designers have already commented that they are reducing the dimensions of the planet boards to save on some space. but it's still pretty epic. You cannot, however, judge this game by its look. You spend most of your time taking actions on your player board, like gathering, developing, and moving around the different planets. You can concentrate on war, but this is a costly endeavor. First, you have to pay mana and metal to gain weapons cards. Then, you have to use your actions to move into a territory where you think you can win, and pay more metal to use those cards. I believe this makes players think more carefully about who and when they attack. Secondly, Rachel was attacked and lost her battles twice, but she still won the game through some cunning moves. Man, she's attractive whenever she crushes me in Wargame.
It ain't no thing to do my thing, it's what I do.
Normally, in a Wargame, losing a battle can practically mean player elimination, but that is not the case here. I'll admit that after our first playthrough, we thought long and hard to try and find something negative about the game. As reviewers, that's our job. But I love that the cubes are limited, so you can't do everything on your player board you might want to. I like the development track too. The game does not last long enough to max out on every track, so you really do have to pick a focus. Battles are simple, and like I said before, they're very streamlined. As far as gameplay goes, I think Anunnaki is a serious gem. The only improvements I could hope for is that the buildings match each faction better. Since we all have special minis, houses that would match would improve the look and make me feel special. Like when I get bacon for free on my burger. Second, because this game is more Euro-style than Ameritrash, and Euro-style games seem to struggle with this a bit more than others, I feel like the theme is too coincidental, and it feels a little slapped on to the game. Don't get me wrong, epic mythological gods doing battle against one another is awesome, but the idea that all of their planets are running out of resources at the same time, and this new planet is the answer to all of their problems? It feels like there's a better story that could be told. Like there's a new planet which is formed and it's abundant in resources, which could tip the balance in who controls this universe they're all living in. I think a good story can really deepen the experience. Like, who are these ancient civilizations on each of the planets, and why haven't we already been able to defeat them before? There's absolutely a lot of opportunity to paint a bigger picture here for gamers, and I really hope to see this in the final product. But other than that, this game hits my palate just right. Cool minis, double layer boards, Eurogame mixing with an area control style, and the blend of fantasy and interplanetary travel and science fiction. I truly cannot wait to get the final product on the table and can confidently say that it will have a secure spot on my shelf and will often be on the menu for our game nights. If a Euro-based area control game with a major focus on action selection was what you were missing from your life, use the link in the description below and support this campaign. I know I'll be there, Loeb will be there, Rachel will be there too. Also, because I'm sure you found this video helpful and made it all the way to the end, why don't you go ahead and subscribe. Leave a like, share it even. It costs you little, it costs you nothing, and it helps us immensely. Stay hungry for more board games, my friends.